All right, I think we're live. Tuesday night live. Changing the name of it soon. Gotta create a logo. Michael came up with the name. What are you drinking, Mike?
I am drinking a cup of coffee.
Nice, nice,
Getting
nice.
ready for deer season.
Let's see who's going to hop on here and join us. 6 weeks away, a little over 6 weeks away from deer season.
That's crazy.
4 weeks away from the squirrel hunting tournament. We want to talk about that. 3 days since the president was almost shot. Like what? There's a lot going on right now.
That was insane, man. That was
Oh my
insane.
gosh. 2 people watching. Let's get a lot more on here. Josh is watching. Josh,
Yeah.
Josh, I'm gonna give you some instructions. Go to Eastern Outdoors Media Facebook page, click share it so everyone can watch. Gary Kite is here still in Calera, Alabama. Josh says technically he was shot. I don't know. I saw that it was part of the teleprompter nipped his ear. It doesn't matter. 1 inch to the right, and he's done. He's absolutely done. So,
Yeah.
Josh and Gary, who's going to join us? Josh and Gary, go ahead and share this. Like it, share it, tell your friends, call your mom and dad, let them know. Your brothers, your sisters, let them know we're live. We're talking deer hunting. We're talking squirrel hunting. What else are we talking about? Deer event, outdoor expo.
Yep.
Mike got drawn for a pretty good elk draw there.
Yeah, we can kind of talk about that. That's
wearing his Lost Mountain Outfitters hat. I got a bone to pick with O'Hurley.
Oh, do you?
I got a bone to pick with Hurley.
We need to bring him on here and talk about it.
No, I'm going to tell him. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if he's on here tonight, and if not, I'm going to tell him about it. It's a public bone too. It's a public bone to pick. Can't be in private. It's got to be in front of others. Jimmy Carroll's here, my good friend Jimmy. Chris is here. Chris, I sent you back a text. I don't know if you got it. I think I sent it. I've been busy ever since I got off work today. Been slammed. Let's see. Jimmy shared it. Thank you, Jimmy. Loman Scarborough's here. Don't forget to check out Loman's Hopkins County Sportsman's Club Outdoor Expo August 2nd, August 3rd, August 4th. The most happening thing going on in Western Kentucky that weekend, other than maybe Josh and Tawny having a baby. That could be the number one thing. But check that out. Loman, give us some vendors that are going to be there, brother. Let me tell you what you need to do. You need to call Bub Tackett, and Bub is trying to get vendors. Not my computer off. Bub's trying to get vendors for his expo at the end of the month, and he needs some pointers. Loman. Maybe he just needs Loman's work ethic. What it needs to be. Christian said just got signed up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's definitely a lot of work to put that stuff together, but you definitely got to just reach out to people and see if they're interested in coming. That's for sure. It's a lot of work.
Christian said he just signed up for the squirrel hunting tournament. Who else has signed up? Give me a thumbs up in the comments. If you've signed up for the squirrel hunting tournament, give me a thumbs up there. Let me know. Let's do it. Joshua Sweet is texting me. Sometimes he's on here. Let's see.
Yeah, just to reiterate, I'm sure we'll talk more about the squirrel tournament here shortly, but it's a free tournament. There's no entry fee. There's nothing you got to deal with as far as signing up to pay for anything. What we want to do with this is just promote getting outdoors. It's fellowship with friends and family. It's a statewide thing. We'd even encourage, if you're watching and you're out of state, we'd encourage you just whenever your season opens up, do something similar. Get out.
If you are a watcher of this show and you don't live in Kentucky, sign up anyway. Sign up. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll send you a shotgun.
Whenever your season opens, go hunt and send us pictures. It's that's what this is for. It's not for us making money or anything like that. This is just to promote hunting and fellowship and getting after it. That's what it's all about.
August 17th, we're having 2 different divisions. So if you like to hunt squirrels, I guess you would say the most popular, the traditional way with the 22 rifle, or there's been a few people the past few years hunt with what's it called, HMR 17?
Yeah,
I'm saying that right? HMR 17, or an air rifle. You can do that. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Or this year we said, you know what? Let's just open it up to everyone. So we're having 2 divisions. We got the rifle division. We got the shotgun division. And the shotgun's just a free-for-all. You can use shotguns. You can use dogs. You can use whatever you want. just go kill your squirrels. That one's probably a little more fun because you're going to kill more.
Hmm.
The dog guys will probably, I don't know. I don't know. They
Yeah,
asked for it, so we gave it.
yeah, they'll tear that up. The dog guys will. That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
So let's see who else is on here. So only Chris is the only one signed up for it.
I gotta share
Loman
it. I gotta share.
says, Loman says it's been rough. He's probably talked to 1,000 companies about his expo. Um, I don't know what is Josh saying. Is it little? Oh, never mind. Josh, quit talking to Mike in the tech. Josh is texting you, and it's got me distracted. Okay. So we got a lot coming up, and Mike, we don't have a guest tonight, so we're just shooting from the hip on what to talk about. So you
Yeah.
guys, if you're in the comments, whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about deer season. Mike knows a lot more than me, so ask him all the questions you want. We can talk about the squirrel hunting tournament. We can talk about all the events coming up leading up to deer season. I know that we always have people talking about Fort Knox and our deer camps and things like that. So we got all kinds of stuff. Anthony Jones is here. Glad to have you, Anthony. Caleb says that he is signing up for the squirrel hunting tournament tonight. Anthony, you got to let SNS let you and Jimmy off so you guys can hunt squirrels with us on the 17th. Actually, I have to work the 17th, so I'm trying to get that day off too. Rob says, what fall food plots are you guys planning? If you're a private land owner, I know Loman is. Mike, you plant things. Jimmy has some places to hunt. He owns some land, but I don't know if he's planting food plots. Who's planting food plots? And if you're planting fall food plots, what are you planting? Mike, why don't you start answer that for Rob here?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the things that we like to plant, we 100% plant buck forage oats. I don't know if you know, Whitetail Institute has a buck forage oat that we use on
Sure.
our place quite a bit. I like to mix those type of things with several different things. So I've got some antler builder turnips and radishes saved up for this fall. So we'll probably pick some different areas where we do a little bit of a mixture. I might do some buck forage oats along with some turnips and radishes and mix them in together. I'm one spot, and this is for different both turkeys and deer that I have in mind. I'd like to do some type of form of oats and get some red crimson clover mixed in together. So it's going to be kind of a fall forage plus next spring and so forth with the clover anyway. But next, when you plant red crimson clover and an oats of some kind during the fall, next spring, as those oats start to seed and things of that nature, and they grow a little bit taller, you've got those bits of forage probably more so in June and July, but you've got your clover in the spring, and then you've got those oats that get tall and get those seeds where turkeys use those in that June, July, where the poults start coming out. Be good forage for them. So just thinking even all the way to next spring, what that's going to do, planting those. So that's kind of what's been on my mind lately as far as fall planting.
I don't think we had anyone else. Josh Teeter here says, I think, Mike, you're the only one who gave an answer to that. Appreciate it. Rob, I hope that gave you some good information. Josh Teeter says, have you heard of the Bowtech rally that's coming to Kentucky the 26th through 28th of July? I've not heard of it. I'm looking at it right here. Mammoth Cave Road, Mammoth Valley Park. The Bowtech rally isn't just about celebrating our legacy. It's about celebrating bow hunters and archers who got us here. So that seems pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That's a neat event. Rob
Yeah, so
also,
you have. Go ahead.
I was just saying, Rob also, something else we like to do is winter weed as well.
There you go. I'll tell you what. I was looking. We went out. We took the kayaks out to a lake over in Eva Shockey will be there.
That's cool.
Josh Teeter says, "Yeah." Wonder if Jim's going to be there with his young girlfriend.
That'd be cool.
Jim's
nice
got him like a 30-year-old.
Yeah, she's a younger
What do you think
girl.
about that?
Man, I think it's cool. Jim, this is getting off topic here, but Jim, handled everything with so much grace. He was there for
He
his
did.
wife all the way to the very
That
end.
was so sad, man.
And I think it's been super clear on her wishes. I think it was her wishes for him
You think
to
she said, "Hey Jim, go get a girl half your age"?
she
She'll
may
get
not
over
have
you,
said
man.
that, but I think
I'm
she
joking.
they had a cool, you could tell they had a genuine relationship, and he took care of her to the very end. So I feel I'm happy for him. However that ended up happening, I'm happy for him.
Has there been any update about? I was trying to make Mike uncomfortable. Anyone else have a problem with Jim Shockey dating someone half his age? I mean, he's a good guy. Michael Power says, there been any update possible extension for early youth season? So here's how that works, Michael. So they did bring it up at the last commission meeting, which was 2 or 3 weeks ago. And they decided to, since there's 3 new commissioners in Kentucky, they decided to postpone that discussion until the next meeting, which is probably Octoberish, end of September, early October, maybe. And so that gives everyone time to talk to the people in their districts, to get information, to do research on it. But even if they pass it, so let's say it passes in October, they bring it up, they vote on it, they pass it. It still has to go through Frankfurt and the legislature in the spring, in the first of the year. So if Fish and Wildlife passes something, it's going to be 12 months to 18 months before it actually takes effect. So um, that's really the only update, is they're going to talk about it next time. And if they decide to pass it, it will take effect in 2025 and not 2024. August 30th. Oh, okay. So I was off. Michael, if I was guessing, I would say that there's parts of it that'll pass and there's parts of it that won't. I am definitely for, and a lot of people I talk to are for extending the youth season. They don't want to extend the muzzleloader. They don't want to allow adults to be able to rifle hunt with their youth during youth season. I totally understand that. So if all they accomplish is, there's 2 things I would like to see accomplished. And let me know what you guys think. I want your opinion on what I'm getting ready to say, Mike and people watching. Number 1, I would love to see youth season go from just the 2-day weekend to a 9-day season. That's 2 weekends and Monday through Friday, which most people are going to get to go, right? So basically a week and 2 weekends. I would like to see that because I just think it gives people more opportunity. Now, I did see people, well, if they don't want, they'd rather be inside playing video games. Look, kids have way more things to compete with now than they ever have, right? Hunting has to peak. What in the world? Guys, what is this? Guys, this is Dr. Bao. He's a spiritual love spellcaster, a well-known traditionalist. Who in the world? Who let that guy in? We start talking about Jim Shockey and his young girlfriend. This guy's a love spellcaster. Hold on, let me get rid of him. Let me see. Anybody needing a love spell? How do I get rid of this guy? Boom. Okay. We always get, not always, but we sometimes get the craziest stuff in here. So anyway, kids nowadays have more to compete with than they ever have, from travel ball. Mike, literally before we got on here, tell them what you're doing, Mike. Listen
Yeah,
how big mean old Mike is. Listen how mean
yeah.
Mike is. Right,
Unfortunately, we had
tell them
to.
what you're doing.
Yeah, we had to contact we're making a big change in the way we're doing baseball. Instead of being rec ball, we're kind of moving on to select, not necessarily travel. We're going to
Just
travel a little
tell
bit
them what you're
more.
doing, though. No, tell them what
Unfortunately,
you're doing.
we had tryouts, and unfortunately, we have to contact folks and make cuts. So
Mike was
that's
calling kids and saying, "Hey, son, we appreciate you trying out for a team. You're just not good enough."
it stinks.
Oh, dude, I've cut
We're,
my fair share of kids from teams, and it's the worst part.
yeah, it is, and not to go away from our outdoor topics, but kids sports today, man, you sports are in a unique situation where you're almost forced, if you want to excel and you want to challenge yourself or challenge your team, you're almost forced to move on to those things. And I don't know that you can get things done in rec ball because you're not playing enough.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
hope
almost
that
like it's
he's
tough.
the
It's
Josh says you're the worst kind of coach. Here's the thing, travel ball is terrible. I don't care how good my girls ever are, they're never going to do that. Um, just because I think it's too hard on families and
it,
kids. And I
it
can't
is.
tell you, I can point to dozens of kids who were very good at their sport and
Yeah,
just quit because they got
yeah,
sick of it. Anyway,
yeah,
so kids have all that to, even like it or not, kids have more to compete with than ever. They got travel ball, they got iPads, they got Xbox, and I mean we had some of that too growing up, but not like we do today, right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
heck, I'll be honest. I'm getting ready to buy the college football game, and me and Josh, when Josh gets internet hooked up at his house, we're gonna be playing because that was our childhood. That's all we saved. We had a can of coins that we saved every year just to buy because we couldn't buy one
Right.
because we'd fight over it. So we'd buy two. We'd buy both. We'd buy Madden and we'd buy college football, both of those. And I can't wait to play it again. So
Yeah.
even as an adult, I got things that compete for my attention. But
Right.
anyway, it just gives kids a better opportunity to get out there. It gives adults, man. Like I rushed to get here tonight at 9 o'clock, right? It gives adults more time to take their kids out. So I like that. The second part is I want to see them expand somehow hunting opportunities in the CWD zones because they are going to have a certain number of deer that they want to harvest and test. And I would rather hunters harvest those deer than them not meeting their quota and Fish and Wildlife going out there and just mowing them down, right? So I would like for hunters to get that opportunity. And I guess I don't know what they do. I guess if a deer tests negative for CWD, they just give the meat to a food bank. What's it called? Kentucky Hunters for the Hungry. So,
Hunters for the hungry. Yeah.
you know, so I hope those two things pass. I hope they expand youth season. I hope they allow hunters to meet the quota for CWD deer. And then the rest, I'm okay with. I mean, if they don't expand muzzleloader or whatever, if they don't allow adults to hunt with the youth, fine with me. But I think those two things should do it.
Yeah.
I see you looking at the
Absolutely.
comments. You got one you want to respond to? Somebody make you mad?
No, no, no. I was just kind of looking at the different comments. I know a couple of people has mentioned the youth baseball. Um, but yeah, I'm with Rob. I think just thinking about my own schedule and my kids' schedule, more than likely, I saw a lot of people like, oh, you're just going to wipe these deer out if you're extending youth gun seasons and stuff like that. So more than likely, the only thing you're going to really be doing is you're going to be providing 2 weekends for kids to hunt because not a lot of people
That's
are going to
it.
get to hunt during that week anyway. So while it might be open and some people might get to use it, you're really only going to be opening it you're going to see any type of significant harvest is going to be that first weekend or that second weekend. And even then,
Yeah,
it's not going to
completely.
be such a difference that it's going to do anything to the population significantly.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I think it'd be a good thing. Let's see
It would be good
here.
for me because it'd
Chris,
be extra opportunities to get my kids
yeah,
out.
absolutely. Chris says I didn't have a TV in my room until I bought my own RV. Wow, he went from no TV to an RV. You think that's funny, Mike? He said TV.
That's good stuff.
Jimmy said we had Saturday morning cartoons, bowl of cereal, and rabbit ears on the TV. There you go. Back then, you could send your kids outside to play all day, not worry about them. They always came back. I can't even let my kids go outside by themselves because there's some freak that walks up and down the road. He's been arrested several times. He's on my neighbor's Ring porch camera, walking around, snooping around. I can't even let my kids out there, right? So anyway, Anthony says he's coaching All Stars one weekend of the summer. We have practice 2 hours, 3 days a week. Now All Stars is different. If you
Yeah.
play Little League and then you play Little League All Stars, there's nothing better. But travel ball is spring season, summer season, fall ball, every weekend or every other weekend. You're spending, Mike, you've spent a ton of money on travel ball, I'm sure.
So here's
Or
the
if
thing.
you're not there yet, you're going to.
Well,
So
here's
that's the thing. It's just hard on families.
it is. It's really hard. Here's the unique thing, and again, this is kind of off topic of hunting, but since other people are bringing it up and we're talking about it, the unique thing about the team that we're doing is we played in a league that gave us 15 games. We want to play more than that because we believe reps is what some of our kids need. We need to play more games. We need to be a little bit more competitive. Um, so what we plan on doing is we're actually going to leave the leagues and we're going to play independent, so we can schedule our own games when we can, when we want. We can schedule more games.
You're not playing Little League anymore.
Yeah, we're not playing Little League anymore. We're going to play independent. We're going to create our own games. But the what's unique to our team is we're not focused on going to Florida or Georgia or Alabama to play baseball. We're going to play in our area. We're going to throw in local tournaments to where we're playing more games, but we're not traveling. It's just going to be locally. And then we might throw one trip to where we take the team to a tournament down in Gatlinburg, just so the kids can experience one overnight or over a couple night little trip to be, to kind of bond as a team, like, just at a hotel, swimming and stuff. We all have memories of doing that as kids, but we're focused on not doing that crazy travel ball stuff.
Yeah.
It's just we're going to be playing more games locally.
Yeah, I wish we just focused on school ball. And then kids had seasons and it was more fun. All right, let's get with the turkeys. Yeah. Anybody seen any baby turkeys lately, Mike? Or no, I saw someone post that they saw 3 hens and 13 poults, which
that's awesome.
Great. I think that was Joe Lacefield from Fish and Wildlife. Michael said, I wish they got back to the 9-day rifle season. What are you at right now? 17 days? No.
16,
3 weekends
17.
and 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
it's two full weeks,
16 days, 16 days.
Yeah.
Chris had 3 poults with a hen on camera Sunday. Gary's so old, he was the one who had to fix the rabbit ears on his TV growing up. He said he hasn't seen very many poults. So, man, I tell you, I've not been out as much as I usually am because of my new job, but I've not really seen turkeys driving. I'm surrounded by farms. I've been seeing crazy amounts of deer lately, just crazy. And I saw that Chris said he's not seeing very many big deer, but you had a fat doe. Was that you or Josh?
That was me. Yeah, that was me. There's a massive doe, just a big old doe that's coming into that antler building mineral site almost daily. I see her almost every day on my camera.
Maybe she's a late bloomer. Maybe she's still got a little fawn in there.
Maybe she's a pretty big doe, that's for sure. I'm old.
What's the gestation period? How long does a doe stay pregnant?
I don't know. So
6 months?
We'll say November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Sometimes they have in May. So 6-7 months, give or take.
6 months. So if one was bred in January, which is totally possible, then you're looking at that doe might be pregnant.
It could be.
Yeah. I mean, I think all of us has probably hunted in October, November and still seen spots on deer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that could just be a real pregnant doe. Hey, if you have cell cam, not just cell cam, I'm just not on my game tonight. If you have trail cam pictures that we didn't show last week, you can send them to me. Michael said he had a decent 8-pointer on his camera this afternoon on the mineral hole with while it was 100 degrees out. Yeah. Mike, yours have been coming in every day.
Oh my gosh, dude. My camera, this was not very long. It was only about a month ago that I put my camera that I moved my camera to my mineral site, and it just said that it's already used up 80% of its battery life. So I'm gonna have to get back down there and kind of get refocused here, because it's probably gonna die soon with as many deer that's coming in.
Answer this. If you're watching, here's what I want to know, because I have some cameras that should be coming in very soon. I would say almost everyone here is using cell cameras, even if you're not. The brand, every brand has a cell camera now. So I want to know, what kind of cameras are you using? I got 2 questions. Are you using cell cameras? And what brand of cameras are you using? So answer that in the comments. Are you using cell cameras? What brand are you using? Last year, we used Moultrie mobile cell cameras. Pretty good. I've had issues with the Moultrie cameras at night. Sometimes they just go pitch black and they don't work. Moultrie's been great if it's within a year to trade those out for me, so that's good. I have some Tacticam 3.0, the new ones, that should be arriving before the end of the month. So I just want to know. I mean, it seems like everyone has their favorite brand. It seems like I see, some brands get talked about a lot and some not, as far as good and bad. Tacticam seems to be one. Caleb uses it. Greg uses it. Hopefully, I'll be using it. Mike, you use Tacticam.
Yep.
That's one that I don't see many negative things about. Now, not to pick on my good friend Jim, Spy Point. Now, Jim sends me pictures; they look great. Spy Point is one that I hear a lot of bad things about, but I think it's depends on the model that you have. Like they have a really good model, and then they have like the cheaper one that maybe has some problems. Dwayne uses Muddy cell cameras. I'm not. I don't know many people that uses Muddy, Dwayne. How do you feel about them? Michael says he runs 2 Moultrie Delta base. This is my second year with them. I've had no problems. Moultrie Delta. So, Michael, I started using Moultrie cell cameras, I guess, 3 years ago. And then when they updated to the Delta, I guess, it was much better. They were much better. Will uses Tacticam. Gary Moultrie. Covert camera. I've heard great things about those. They're a little more expensive. Is that what Hurley uses? Covert?
I think it is. Either that or Spartan. Does he use Spartan?
No, he doesn't use Spartan. I think it is Covert. But I've heard great things about those. Little pricier. Josh Teeter says, "Do you think because of the drought the Bucks won't reach their full potential?" I don't know, Josh, if that's the case. I mean, Kentucky, even with little rain, we still have a lot of water. Like I did drive by Elkhorn Creek the last 2 days. I've never seen it this low. I've lived here for 5 years, never seen it. 4 years, no, 5 years, never seen it this low. It has to have an effect. It does mean they're probably traveling more for water, I would think, wouldn't you, Mike?
Yeah, I would say they probably are, and they know where they can get things that carry moisture, even in plants. The dew in the mornings
Yeah.
and the humidity is keeping things kind of damp. Different vegetations and things. I know they're. I've been seeing that they're starting to eat the tops of ragweed. So if you got ragweed around, the deer are starting to eat and munch on those a little bit. Which actually I just learned today that ragweed has about as much protein as soybeans.
Nice.
So fun fact for you.
There
So
you
if
go.
you have any ragweed on your place, it might make you sneeze later in the year, but you don't want to get rid of that because it's a great browse.
Yeah. I know that. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, I was going to answer Loman's. Michael says his buddy runs Spartans. Nothing bad about them. I've heard great things about Spartan too. Loman says he just uses whatever he catches on sale. If I'm not using cell cameras, then I'm using those cheap Tascos at Walmart. That's what I use. So if it's not a cell camera, I'm using those $30 Tascos. The last time I used one though, I forgot to turn it on. I literally left it out for a year, went back, 0 pictures. That's frustrating. That was frustrating because
I'd say
I'd
that is
forgotten about it. I put it out on public land. I had forgotten about it, and then I was like, well, I'll get it later. And I kept kicking the can down the road. And then one day I was like, oh, dude, I bet it's got so many creatures on that thing. Boop, 0.
See, there's your argument for returning to the same place a couple times a little bit more often.
Well, this was honestly just to see what was there. It's a little 100-acre public land near my house that it's got like 1 deer a year killed on it. Now I've seen a big buck on there, but it's right next to Elkhorn Creek. It's right next to a big farm. There's just low chances of killing anything good on there. Caleb says his brother uses Wise Eye. It takes crazy. Wise Eye is what? What's the short feller? Alex
Rutledge.
Alex Rutledge uses Wise Eye, and he talks great about them. Gary says you can't beat Tascos for non-sale. Hey, I know Caleb uses Tascos, Gary. That's me and him both were using Tascos. I find Tascos on Marketplace. I bought 3 for $15 from some guy in like California, and he shipped them for $5. So 3 for $20. Jimmy says high traffic areas I will use cell cams. Others I use cameras with a memory card. That's kind of am. If I'm like I guess most of my cameras are on public land. I have none out right now. Places where I know a lot of people are going to visit, I use the cheap Tascos. If I'm using a cell camera on public land, I try to go somewhere where I know there's very little access and it's kind of hard to get to. I did have one that tried to get stolen. Actually, Caleb Hatmaker and I put 2 cell cameras out on Clay WMA. And now Clay WMA has several tracks. I won't tell you where we put them. But we didn't put them on on a main area. And I went back to get them. And my cell camera I had a chain around it. My cell camera had been like the tree was turned south. The tree was like broken. They were trying to get it off there. They couldn't get my cell camera off there. They left Caleb's cheap Tasco, but they took the memory card. And then they didn't, I guess they didn't see my other one that I had out there. So yeah, that was it. Cody Varney says, I thought Tacticams were all that were made anymore. I think he's being sarcastic.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if anybody watching does that kind of stuff on public band, but I'd like to thump guys that do that.
Yeah,
there's no reason to touch other people's stuff.
Well, people like to act like public land is theirs. Like, oh, I scouted here. This is my spot. No, it's not. If I beat you there, it's my spot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's public land, right?
If you're hunting 40 yards apart, like whatever, but don't touch another dude's stuff. It's not necessary.
Yeah, don't touch another dude's junk.
You ought to be thumped. If you're caught doing it, you ought to be thumped. I'm telling you.
I hate to repeat stories because Dwayne Best makes fun of me for repeating stories, especially about the deer I killed last year. But I think I told this on here before that I totally listen. I'm telling you, I'm having a hard time. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Like I totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh, it's public land. So yeah, Dwayne's laughing at me. Dwayne, I feel like an old man today. My mind is just not here. Crazy day at work. Anyway, talking about public land, Mike, and this made you more angry than it made me. I had 2 occasions in one deer season where hunters with dogs walked right up on me while I was deer hunting. Yeah. One was super nice, like he felt horrible. One was just a total jerk. Yeah. But here's the thing. It's theirs too. Like, yeah, squirrel hunting with dogs and like the end of October or whenever it was, it kind of sucks because that's like prime deer season. But what do you do? What do you do? I was there first. They came up the ridge with their dogs. Josh says, anyone use solar chargers for cell cameras? Actually, Josh, who said it? Gary said he was getting ready to put one out like that. Here's a good question. Where do you guys put in for quota hunts this year? I've not thought about that yet. Mike, where do you think? I know where Mike's going to put in. Mike puts in the same place every year, and he's done well.
Yeah. I always put in for Kleber and Rich WMAs. They're 2 separate WMAs, but you can hunt both if you get picked for that quota hunt. It's fairly close to my house. I can drive back and forth. I don't have to stay in a hotel or anything, so it makes it easy, and it's good. It's a pretty good hunt. I might look into doing clay, but I'll probably keep the quota hunts pretty tame this year. I got picked for elk. I'm going to spend a lot of PTO days doing that. And, I'll save some for November and different things. So, and then Fort Knox, I'm going to try to do at least one weekend at Fort Knox. So I'll probably try to if I put in for one, it'll probably just be Kleber and Rich, to be honest with you.
I don't know. It seemed like the quota hunts last year coincided with the weekends where either I was wanting to hunt with someone or I couldn't hunt or I was going to be at Fort Knox.
Yeah.
And so I've told you, listen, I am 100% committed to Fort Knox this year. My plan is to kill a Kentucky buck, like a state regulation buck, as soon as I can in Kentucky. Now, Fort Knox is in Kentucky, but I mean outside of the Fort Knox area. 3-pointer, 5-pointer, 8-pointer, 10-pointer, whatever. I want to kill a buck early. Don't care how big it is. Not a baby. Then I'm focusing on Fort Knox, and I'm trying to kill 2 there, and they have to be a decent size for them to be legal, right? They have to be, 15 inches, 12 inches wide for them to be legal. So that's my plan. My quota hunt's going to be Fort Knox. I'll be putting in for all those lottery draws or quota hunts if you want. And then if something works out, I might put in for Rich and Kleber with Mike or
Yeah.
I might put in, my brother lives not too far from Pennyrile. I could do that. I know there's people that usually watch the show that go to Pennyrile. We have friends out there. I don't know. I just don't care. Michael, where do you put in for quota hunts? Where do you guys? I saw Dwayne said he's never put in for a quota hunt. I've only done it once. One year I forgot. One year I got early December at Rich and didn't see. It was just not fun. It was
That
cold.
that weekend can be hit or miss there. And
It
you
rained
know,
one day.
uh, Paul last week, he actually hit the nail on the head. And I kind of wanted to go into more detail about this. Who we had on the show last week.
Yeah.
He mentioned Fort Knox and needing more hunters at Knox to move deer around. He's not kidding. Because I'm gonna
But
tell you
you're not
something.
going to convince the people out there that.
Well, I'm gonna let me share something with you. There has been a big change in Knox deer movement. Back in the day, we used to have those. There's still areas, and there's still areas you get picked for. But back in the day, they used to let twice as many hunters in those areas than they do now. So I think if you got area 100, they used to let 30 to 40 hunters in there at once, but what it did was is people there were that many hunters in the other areas surrounding those, so people that hunted spot and stalk, or they got cold and they had to get up and move or whatever. It moved deer around Knox like crazy, and it sounded like a war zone because there were so many deer moving. But
Yeah.
nowadays, that they don't let as many
See you,
people hunt
Jim.
in areas.
Jimmy Carroll's got to be up at 5, fellas. Anthony is hard on him, so he's got to get up. We'll see you, Jim. Thanks for
Have a
being
good
here,
one,
brother.
Jim. Yep, good to see you, buddy. But nowadays, because there's less hunters in those areas, deer are very much more on their normal movement patterns, and it can be the Fort Knox hunt is a little bit more challenging, in my opinion, nowadays than it used to be long ago when I first started going. You
Yeah.
used to see a lot more deer movement because there was a lot of hunters moving. But the same thing is that comes into play, that Kleber Rich hunt in December. If you've got a lot of guys, if the weather's good and you get perfect
Yeah.
weather and a lot of guys come out and they move deer, you can see them and get them. There's been times where Dad and I have shot 2 or 3 does on that hunt together. We'd sit together and shoot does and stuff, where hunters would push them down in the bowls and down into the hollers, and that's where me and my dad like to hunt, down in the hollers where they get pushed down into.
I think the weekend I was there, I think there were 5. All I saw was 5 hunters on the rich side.
Yeah,
Kleber attracts a lot more.
it does.
It's a lot bigger, but on the rich side, which has good deer,
Mm-hmm.
Rich WMA has great deer.
Yep.
There was a huge one killed there, I think, 2 years ago. It's just that it doesn't get. It's a good turkey hunting public
Yeah,
man too. It just doesn't get hit very much.
I've heard turkeys gobbling there in the fall.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the first time you and I went and I killed that deer, 5 minutes after I shot that deer, I could have shot a turkey, and I was such a mess because I thought I missed the deer. I couldn't even do it. I just couldn't even do it.
Yeah.
I probably would have missed, but it literally was probably definitely less than, I was gonna say 5 yards, which is 15 feet. 15 feet or less. Easy shot, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't.
All
Hey,
jacked up.
listen, we just don't really have. It's July 16th. It's still summer. We may have should have taken all of June and July off. We got 10 people watching, which during deer season, we'll have 40 people watching. So it's really hard to do these shows with not many people in here interacting with us, but we're going to keep at it. But I just wanted to, let's see. I just want to put in the comments so people know. So August 3rd is the event, Antler Builder deer season event. Now it is in Plummer's Landing, Kentucky, and I have a meeting about it tomorrow. We're trying to add some guest speakers, figure out what we're going to offer to get people there. Only got 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Then August 10th is the Eastern Outdoors Media Squirrel Hunting Tournament. Now we have less than 100 people signed up. We need 100 teams. We need at least 100 teams signed up. The very first one we had like 200 teams signed up. Last year we had we had like 112 teams signed up. We need 100 teams signed up. I don't remember how many we were at before, but we'd love for you guys to share. I sent out an email today to a lot of people, asked them to sign up. Please share. Because the more we get signed up, the better prizes I can have. What else we got going on? August 24th is the hunting 606. Is that it? Deer Expo in Pikeville. So all those things, and then August 2nd through 4th is Hopkins County Deer Expo. So we got a lot going on. And ever since I started talking that, we have more views. But here's what I'm gonna say. I want this fall to be Eastern Outdoors' best fall since we started. We're on year 4, and we've been stuck at 81,000 followers, which is a lot. But we've really been slacking for like 6 months now. So we can only do that with you guys. So we just appreciate you being here. I thought Squirrel started the 17th. It does start the 17th. That's why we're doing it the 17th. Oh, yep. Crap. Hold on. Forget about that. Sorry. August 17th EOM. I put August 10th.
Whoops. Yep. Don't hunt that day.
You didn't hear it from me. Didn't hear it from me. And then end of September, we're doing deer camp. There's an early bear season. I think that got passed. It may be 2025 though. Mm-hmm. There's a bear season going to open up when crossbow opens up. Did you know that?
I did not know that. That probably will be a 2025 change. Yep. I would imagine.
And then I'm hoping September 14th, 15th, 16th, or 15th, 16th, or 14th, 15th, whatever that weekend is, I get to hunt elk with Michael.
Yeah, September 14th, 15th. Yeah,
a lot going on. But all right, let's see who's got deer pictures because we are. While I'm pulling up these deer pictures, why don't you tell everybody about this? Everyone here, probably everyone, none of us here have been drawn for a Kentucky elk tag.
Yeah.
So why don't you take people through what you just got drawn for your unit? You're in Unit 7. You also got a restricted area. Why don't you just kind of give everybody a summary of that?
Yeah. So it's definitely been a lot of it. Yeah, just it's one of those things where luck of the draw, and you just get that name pulled. And it was a shock to see my name pulled in the first place, but yeah, it's been kind of a whirlwind just looking at all that stuff and trying to like understand what it all means. And there's the 7 units, and units 1 through 7, and then inside the units there are regulated areas or areas that people have donated to the department to allow a certain number of hunters. It's usually a pretty low number of hunters in there to hunt that area. And I ended up getting selected when I put in for my units. I ended up getting selected for Unit 7 and a regulated area within Unit 7. So I've got some options there. I can hunt the regulated area.
Tell them what counties primarily you're going to be in.
Yeah, so Pike County. I think there's a little bit of Floyd in there. Maybe a little bit of Knott, if I'm not mistaken.
Bub's stomping grounds in Floyd. Bub said he's never seen an elk in Floyd County.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
That's not a positive thing for me, I guess. But no, it's basically Pike County, just that far eastern Floyd County, Knott County. I'm trying to think if I'm missing one. Maybe a tiny piece of Letcher potentially.
Bub said no. He said in Wheelwright.
Okay. Oh, he's never seen one in his town,
in his city, and he is the city commissioner. So if he says it, I mean,
it's probably true.
It's probably true.
But it's been a lot of information to take in, and I've just tried to carefully, step by step, as things as the due dates come along, I've been trying to make sure that I hit those due dates and get everything signed up. And when I put in for those units, I'm hoping that we can figure things out now. I'm still deciding on whether I can go get a guide and afford a guide. That's something I'm still trying to work out. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Just
Yeah.
financially, it's hard
I
to come
think
up.
you got. I mean, look, I think you've had several people offer to help, and I
Yeah,
think if you go with a guide, I think you're 100% going to kill one. If you don't go with a guide, I still think you have better chances than just the average person,
yeah,
just because of some of the people and some of the people said they're going to help, and
yeah.
how
A
good of
lot
a
of
hunter you are, and I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, a lot of people have been very kind, reaching out and just offering advice and help. They've said, hey, I might know some people that live in that
Yeah.
area. I can reach out to them and see if they know anything. So I've had a lot of people reach out and be very kind with that. So I appreciate those people very much because I'm not from that area. There's a lot to learn and certainly a lot to try to understand about the area. That's for sure.
So Josh says he killed a cow. This is a cow elk, by the way. On Black Mountain 2013, one of the best hunts I've ever been on.
That's awesome.
How are you going to approach? Because you can kill either sex, cow or
Yeah.
bull. I know you want a bull,
Right.
but I know if you are left no options, I know you'll kill a cow just to. You don't want to go home empty-handed. So how are you going to approach that?
Yeah. I can hunt. There's a December. There's dates in
There is.
December I can hunt as well. So if I got into that December, I think that's September. Um, I'd
That's very
probably
early.
seriously focus on bull in September. And if
Okay.
I hunted any in December, I would probably change my mind on the cow. But I really am. I'm pretty driven to try to really focus. I know it can get both. I'm totally available, but I'd really like to focus on getting the bull. And I think I'm even going to be a little strict on myself, man. I'm not going to shoot a spike bull. I'm not going to shoot a bull that's super young. I think I'm going to try to
I think
focus.
you'll know. I
I'm
think
sure I
you'll know when
will.
you see it.
Yeah, I think where my head is, and we'll see. You never know when these things happen, but
Yeah.
where my head is I'm looking by. I'm hoping that I can focus on a 4x4 or something that might be a little bit above that. And
Sure.
I'm not looking for something that's the biggest bull ever shot in Kentucky. That's not where I'm at. I just want
Well, you're not
just
going to get
something.
that without a price anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But I'm not about trying to kill the biggest baddest bull there ever was. I'm just I'd like to be a little bit selective and try to get one that's maybe a 4x4 or a 5x5, something like that.
That'd be
But
great. Caleb, why are you going to bed? You have a bum knee. You have nothing to do. It's 9:50. That's ridiculous, Caleb.
come on, Caleb.
What is Caleb, like 32 years old?
Younger than me.
Bub says Robinson Creek in Unit 7 is probably the best herd he knows of. Unit 7 is a good unit. Pike County from just results. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
those are
Unit
some of
7
the
is the
things.
unit to get. Yeah, if you could have
Yeah.
got somewhere like Cambrian, that's like the place to be.
Mhm.
Czar, those are all restricted areas.
Yeah. So the
I only
Cambrian
know
one,
that. I've never been to those places. I just know because people say it.
yeah, the one that the tricky thing for me is like Cambrian. I saw that on there, but it was never an option. Now maybe it will become an option after the unit draws. But so when you went to go try to select those units, that was one that kind of caught my eye in those areas,
Yeah.
Unit 6, Unit 7, and that was not an available. I don't know if the contract for that wasn't. I don't know how it works, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that was just something that wasn't submitted in time or what. It was kind of weird, but
I don't know.
that's kind of what made it hard. It made it hard
Right.
to choose because you saw these areas, but that you didn't see them listed anywhere. So I assumed you couldn't pick them.
Bub says, "Have you seen the F1 resolution on Paintsville?" He's talking about there's some kind of vote to allow the stocking of F1 bass in Paintsville Lake. Is not the final vote. Fish and Wildlife has the final say. The post that I saw said the Federation voted and passed that resolution. But I don't know who the Federation is. But the ultimate say is Fish and Wildlife. And I just don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. It's really split. You've got guys in Eastern Kentucky and Paintsville that want it to happen. Of course, it's their lake. Why wouldn't they? You've got a lot of guys out in the Kentucky Lake area. I have friends on both sides, so I don't want to say anything. All I know is that You got a lot of guys that are smart that are for it. Also got a lot of guys who are smart who are against it. So it's just going to come down to what Fish and Wildlife thinks, and I'm sure they'll make their decision based on science and research, and not like believe the science like COVID, but actual like fish studies.
Yeah.
So look, stocking big fish in lakes. I think here's the thing. I read a lot of the things they post. It's just like I said, I got friends on both sides. I don't even know what side I'm on. So I've stayed out of that debate. But I will say that both sides agree you need to keep more bass. I know one guy who doesn't have a problem keeping bass. That's Dwayne. Dwayne Best. He don't have any problem keeping bass. He keeps a lot. But people who fish and bass fish, they need to start keeping bass because there's too many, and that's why the growth rates are stunted. And I don't know all the technical jargon, so I'm not going to get into it. But I know both sides agree on that, so I agree with that too. Keep and eat more bass. Let's see.
It makes
Cody
sense.
Barney says, problem with Unit 7 is 95% private land. Bub says, I'm going to check the Mud Creek to Robertson Creek land, see if I can find something for him.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks,
we've got people on it, Bub. You joined the club here. I told Mike we'll do whatever we can to get him on a piece of land, get him hunting. A lot of good folks over there. Might have to throw him a Benjamin Franklin their way.
Yeah, there we go.
To get on there. So.
Yeah, I'd be game on that.
See, Dwayne needs to lead the charge for these bass. He's kept 150 bass. I know who's doing the fish fry this year. Dwayne Best. So,
yeah.
All right, look, I got a couple of photos here we'll look at. First photo, here's a good one from my good pal, Gary Kite. Here's a good July 14th. Now, that is what you want to see.
That's a dandy.
On your camera in July. Still have, this buck's still going to grow for what, 5 more weeks?
Yep.
What do you think?
In August, they start to add in tine length.
Like an inch a week, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see.
And also, just to preface by saying, this is just to preface by saying the bin back there. This is not Kentucky, so obviously in Kentucky you cannot bait right now. So just to throw that out.
Oh yeah, that's in Tennessee. Yeah,
so just a heads up on that for everybody, just in case.
Yeah, and you know what? If Gary was baiting, I wouldn't tell on him. I wouldn't tell on Gary. He's my guy. But that's in Tennessee for sure.
Yep.
All right, let's look at the next one. Let's see here. Y'all see that or no? You don't see that.
We don't see what's going on now. We saw Gary's buck.
Yeah. This one is Chris. Little harder to see. Oh, there we go. So Chris said he's seeing tall deer, not wide deer.
I've got a deer that looks very close to that.
Uh-oh. I don't really see. It looks like it's just going to be a 4-pointer. Don't you agree?
Yep, it's just a 4.
See, there's 2 little nubs right there, so might end up being a 6. We might get a 6 out of it. And then last but not least, right here is Michael. I can't believe we only had 3 people share pictures tonight. You guys, come on, guys.
I just had right before the show started. I had a doe on the camera. Yeah, that was her right there.
Where's the fat one, Mike?
I sent that. I think I might have sent that in the text group.
Let's see. Gary said the best deer is yet to come. His other camera is dead in Adams County, Ohio. He's all the way down in Alabama. So Cody says never seen a deer change much between August 1st, August 31st. You heard that, Mike? Maybe not. Maybe July is the.
July typically is, but August they typically add time length. They add a little bit more to their time length than August.
Let's see. They can grow an inch a day, which is crazy.
At peak, if you have a deer that has peak, nutrients in the area, the perfect scenario of water and feed and the things that they need, you could see a deer, grow at.
Yeah, this says that in August they can still add up to 1/4 of inch of antler per day. So they can still add a few inches to their time length in August. July is when they can really add up to 1 inch a day.
Mm-hmm.
So that buck right there could be amazing, right?
Yeah, he's not done yet. That's for sure.
Yeah, really cool. Really cool. It's going to be hard to get a velvet buck in Kentucky this year. There's going to be a lot less killed
Yep.
because of the later season. Starts September 7th.
Yep.
Last year started September 2nd, which was, I mean, that's a big difference when it comes to velvet.
Yeah, it's a very big difference. I'd say you probably got a window of about 4 days, and then all the deer will be probably out of velvet.
So this is the big fat doe that Mike had on his camera. You see that?
Yeah, she's a real. Yeah, she. Oh yeah, we see it. That is a real healthy looking doe. She's old.
Yeah,
I was pumped
great.
when she walked in the camera. She looks extremely good for this time of year. And man, that mineral site, they are coming to it every day, man. Through daytime, nighttime, middle of the night, early morning. It's crazy.
Yeah. Bub says he doesn't even have a camera. I don't either, Bub. This weekend, I'm home by myself this weekend. And so I do have a camera out in Georgetown on a piece of private land in Georgetown that has been there a year. And I know I have that one turned on, Mike. So I'll be back out there to see what it has.
Yeah.
And I might just go put some out. I know where I'm going to be hunting for the most part, but I might go put some out just nearby so I can just have fun with it. You know?
Yeah.
So, any of y'all putting out food plots this year? Cody, that's
Yep.
the first question we had. Mike, go ahead and tell him what you're putting out.
Yeah, so we put out corn, and we've got a lot of clover on our place. We've had the clover stands, for quite some time, so we just try to maintain them. But a lot of clover on our little farm, and we've got a corn plot going. And then in the fall, we're probably going to do at least a little bit of winter wheat, probably in some spots. Going to do a mixture of buck forage oats, radish, and turnips. They always hit that pretty hard in November and beyond. And then we also find a lot of in the fields that we plant that's got that specific in it. We find a lot of antlers when they start to drop in like February, March, and that following year. So that's always a good plot for us to find antlers later on after the season ends. But I'm also going to do something that's probably a little different than I have done in the past. I'm going to do a red crimson clover in the fall mixed with some type of buck forage oat. That way, it's it'll come in the fall. It'll provide a good kind of winter fall mix, and then in the following spring, that'll be a really solid turkey hunting spot, specifically through the spring with the red crimson clover. And then as we get into June, July, those tops on the buck forage oats will have the seeds on the ends, and turkeys that'll be kind of some forage in early June and July for when those poults start coming in. Hens got some food to replenish and things of that nature. So that'll probably wrap up about what we're going to put in. So I'm pretty excited about getting to work here in the fall.
There you go. You mentioned turnips and radishes. Is that what you said?
Yep.
So the best, I guess you would just say food plot that I've ever seen on public land. Probably the best deer turnout I've seen on public land when it comes to finding out where deer eat. Like 3 days before the season ended, 2 or 3 years ago, I was hunting out near Clay WMA on one of their tracks, and they had a really good radish and turnip food plot. And when I found it, there were tracks. I mean, it had been snowing, and it was just a muddy mess. And there were just turnips and radishes just tore up everywhere. So I sat there, and we had a huge snowstorm. So what took me an hour to get there on the way, I had to leave early because I didn't think I'd be able to make it home. And it took me 4 hours to drive an hour drive. That's how bad the weather was.
Jeez.
I didn't get to, season ends in Kentucky on Monday. That was on Sunday. I didn't get to go back on Monday, the very next day, but I text Caleb Hatmaker, who was on here earlier, and I was like, dude, you have to go over there. I guarantee you're going to kill a deer. And he didn't set up where I told him, or maybe he did. Ended up shooting a doe, and he sent me a picture of where I had set up the day before. There were 4 bucks right where I'd set up. I think it was 2 8s and 2 10s, or 1 10, 2 8s, and like a 6 or something.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've planted the turnips and radishes there since. I check every year. I literally will reach out to the guy who does it, manages that land, and say, "Hey, did y'all plant radishes and turnips this year?" Because that was the way to go. So anyway,
Yeah.
my light went off back here. Well, fellas, I think that'll wrap it up. Kind of a slow show, and I apologize for that. I tell you, I've just been a long day, and we got on here late. We do appreciate every one of you, and I think most of you are guys who are local here in Kentucky. We got some Tennessee, usually our Ohio guy. Gordy was on here tonight. But hey, we're going to keep doing this. We'll be back next Tuesday. I do have some people who are going to come on. Rich Storm from Fish and Wildlife is going to come on one Tuesday night. You can ask all the Kentucky questions you want. I've got a few more guests. Kyle Sands is going to come on one night and talk all things deer. And then I got a couple more guests that have kind of good followings on social media or have their own podcast and whatnot. I'm just not finalized those, so I won't say, but I think Rich Storm will be a good guest. If you guys have questions about Kentucky, listen, Rich is a great guy. If you don't know him, reserve your opinion because he's a great guy if you did. And you can bring all the questions, complaints, compliments. He can take it all. So Bub says, "Can I ask anything?" Bub, you can, but if you're wanting to be a commissioner in the future, I'd probably keep it cordial. So
Yeah, I'll tell you, if you don't know Rich and you've never had a situation where you've been able to talk to him or in a setting such as this, he's a terrific guy, absolutely terrific guy, really nice, and
yeah,
I think you'll find in a setting like this, he'll be terrific. You'll enjoy hearing from him.
Cody says something that's very true. Shoot your bows, boys. It's close. I was just thinking yesterday I might need some arrows. And also, a guy that I work with, he's very successful at his job, so he doesn't get a lot of time to hunt. Great guy. And he's buying a 10-point crossbow because he's never archery hunted. He's never archery hunted. He's like, man, I think I'm just going to get a crossbow so I can hunt early season because he's not very busy in September with his job, September and October with our job at Longship, and November he's slammed. So I'm like, dude, you need to get out there. Just get a crossbow. You can sight it in quickly.
Yeah.
And so I can't wait. I've not got to use our crossbow in like 2 years. Got it back. I'm going to be using it. Don't care what any of y'all think about that either. I'm going to use a crossbow. I might use it solely. I might just wait 2 weeks and use a solely crossbow.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what Hurley Combs told me about the preparing for this elk stuff. He said he just straight up told me, don't be a macho man. Don't be a macho man and think you're some kind of, magical compound bow shooter. I don't care if you're a tournament shooter or what. He said, don't be a macho man, shoot a crossbow. I've seen too many people shoot compound bows and wound elk and not receive them. He said, just use a crossbow.
There you go. All right. If you took nothing away from tonight, Mike Collins says use your crossbow. Well, guys, we appreciate you. We'll be back next Tuesday. Hopefully we can do a little better for y'all and have some topics together we can discuss. But we appreciate you. Mike, thank you so much. Mike's got to get back to breaking the hearts of kids who he's cutting from the soft baseball team. So, all right, y'all have a good night. We'll see you next week.